working on that battery bank now. I mean the battery box. So I can have it enclosed and vent it out. Anyway, here, let me go back in here, show you what I'm doing on the box. So I am insulating it because of the weather here. It's cold. We're up in the mountains. This is the insulation I got. It's pretty thick and pretty good R value. Adding some casters to the bottom. Okay, so almost done with this box. So what I've done is insulated it within the wood, basically sandwiched it in. So this is obviously the bottom, mounted on the casters, and then you can see, here, let me flip it. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stain it or paint it, I don't know what yet. And then we're going to do the lid, and then I'm going to use pass-throughs through here. We're also going to cut a hole out the back for our venting, and you know, basically the gas is going to rise, so we'll probably drop it into somewhere near the top, and we'll vent that outdoor, and then through here, through the louver. That's going to be the fun part. I can't wait to do that. I'm just tired of this. I'm not a carpenter. I suck with this stuff, but it's functional. All right, so this is as far as I've made it on the box. Pretty much went with the old barnyard style. I'll probably put some hardware or something on there just to make it look kind of cool. So the rest of this, as you know, I've been insulated it. Under that board is all insulated with the same sheathing, insulated throughout. The top, I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to abandon the piano hinge idea. You know, I'm not going to be going in and out of this thing that frequently, you know, once every 3 months. So I think I'm just going to make it simple. This is where we're at so far on the battery box build out. So down here I put in vents at the bottom. This is going to let fresh air in. And these are just vent cover plates. I just cut out I think it's a 1.5 inch hole. So really that's where the fresh air is going to come in. One on both sides, and then we're going to put in the back. This is just the front. I just put these little decorative buckles on there just for, whoops, just for looks. Everything's insulated, I mentioned. This, you can see with the focusing here, but under this board is the same insulation. I've got it built into the walls, sandwiched in everywhere, all corners, and now I've done it on the top. So this is the top lid. I've decided not to do a hinge. You know, at the end of the day, really, I mean, how many times do you really go in and out of this box? Maybe once every 2 months, 3 months. It's not that big a deal to lift up a lid. So to water your batteries. So what I'm going to do is I'm insulating it. I built this this out to match the dimensions here. It literally is airtight. I mean, it fits like a glove when I push this down in here. So it is so airtight, which you really want, especially at the top, because that's where your hydrogen is going to rise. Here's my vent down here, so I'm going to plumb that at the top. I'm going to do a hole back there. It's going to be in this shed, and it'll be coming out the back. Okay, so there's our lid. You can see that. So inside that is the same insulation throughout. We'll do a step back here. So here's the completed battery bank, all plumbed, insulated and wired. You can see it's plumbed out off the back at the top and then up and out. Okay, so here is the inside of the completed battery box. Here is where the hydrogen vent is. So it's going to go out that. There's a DC fan in here which is sucking or pulling the air from in here. The hydrogen rises, it pulls the air from in here, namely the hydrogen, out. It goes up through a damper. There's a damper here that opens when it's on the fan, and then it goes straight on out to the outside. So when this drops in, it's airtight. Hydrogen's going to rise when charging, and it will vent out through the vent fan to the outdoor. The vent fan is activated by a 12-volt relay, which is in the charge controller. There are 12-volt relays in your inverters, but you need a mate to program those. In my case, use my 12-volt in my Flexmax to activate my relay. And you can activate that relay on using different parameters. You can go to vent fan on here on the auxiliary. And you can activate the relay off of here, and then off the voltage, the battery bank voltage. That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is activating it based off of a PV trigger, your photovoltaic panels. And if you do that, you can activate it based on time or voltage. If I go to voltage, I could activate it, meaning the relay will be energized and it'll power the load, in this case the fan, when this parameter is met. When my PV voltage coming into this charge controller is greater than 61 volts. You can make it anything. You could basically make it 1 volt if you wanted to make sure it always turned on the moment the panels were charging batteries. For me, my voltage is all wired in series, so it's a higher voltage. I didn't want to have it come on the first volt that came in, because quite frankly that's probably 5 watts for my system. No need to make it come on when it's not really in any kind of major charging profile. I wait till it comes into, I don't know what this would equate to in my system, a couple hundred watts. So anyway, but when my PV voltage is greater than 61 volts, let me exit. Right now it's 80, 82. That fan's going to turn on. When my voltage goes below it, because it's basically not getting much, it's barely charging, or it's nighttime obviously, then that's going to be 0. That fan will turn off. So that's it. Here's where the hydrogen exits the back of the shed. I'm going to probably put some kind of a cover over that. But the reason why it's pointed downward is for rain, which it's doing right now. I don't know if you can tell that, but it's raining. So anyway, otherwise you'd have rain going into your battery bank. All right, just wanted to point